I am a member of an elite family who you despise. Ask me a question and I will answer them in short. Why? Because I can.
All of the questions our guest will be answering were submitted on the internet forum godlikeproductions.com. Let's begin. What's an elite family?
That's how most are calling it. Families who for a long time have been ruling the people who are not from these bloodlines.
What's your thoughts on peak oil?
It is known within certain circles that it is manufactured. The earth is producing more oil and gas than is being used now even, believe it or not, it is a natural process. Quote, the more you take, the more it produces to balance itself. Study the bees and the way they produce honey and you will understand. On top of that, there are many places with large amounts of natural resources which never have been touched. The agenda? I think you know.
What commonalities do the bloodlines share?
Understand that, quote, bloodlines have been chosen to rule. It didn't just appear out of air. The souls which incarnate into these bloodlines who rule are picked by divine law. Other things don't have to be mentioned.
No one rules me. Never has.
A little old saying, the perfect slave is the one that says, I am not a slave. It is like an alcoholic saying he isn't an alcoholic, so therefore he will always be an alcoholic. Get my drift?
Where do you elites store your mentally ill relatives caused by centuries of inbreeding?
It is a myth that inbreeding always causes problems. If the two persons who procreate carry genes which are of better quality than the rest,
why have you allowed us to breed like rats if population is what you feel threatens you?
Number 1, we haven't allowed that. You have more power than you think you have. Number 2, population does not threaten, quote, us in any way, shape or form. Again a myth.
I am curious what a member of an elite family thinks of godlikeproductions.com. So what do you think?
The more divided people are, the easier it is to rule over them. Making them believe they have a sword in their hand which they think makes them powerful and able to fight the quote dark sider, while it is just a toothpick. You have to be very careful who you give that imaginary sword to. Do you know that not just spoken words but also written words emanate a frequency which have a direct effect? And I would say that a vast majority of the written words on godlikeproductions.com are not helping the cause you think you are fighting for.
What is your religious affiliation?
Religion is created by us. The religions which rule now are the ones that are under total control. I can't give out too much about this, but Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism are a bit off, let's say. There is a core of truth, but it is drowning in a sea of perversions for you to pick out. Good luck. What we believe in does not matter, but it is about serving the divine law which was passed on to us.
How about the world economy?
One thing conspiracy theorists are right about is that it is based on money that doesn't exist, never existed, never will. The ones who own the banks also own the media and politics, so it can be portrayed the way they want you to believe it.
When will the wheat be separated from the chaff? Or do you want to get rid of the wheat and leave the chaff for your slaves? Whichever, when will it happen? I'm tired of false states, please be honest this time.
I know 100% sure there is no end time, at least not like it is being portrayed everywhere, be it religion, media, etc. This place was never meant to end the way it is being described. There will be a time when everyone will be released, but that is not a mass event, but rather one by one. Work on yourself.
I'm curious to know why the elite do not lead. They seem to be more of a parasite on society.
A fish in the ocean can't see that birds are flying in the sky.
Have you or any of your family members ever participated in an occult ritual, and, if yes, what was the nature of it?
Rituals have a meaning which cannot be understood by most. Rituals are there to connect with the higher beings who govern this realm. We are doing our job.
Well, I'd have to say your divine law has messed up this planet and its people very well.
Peasants like you don't understand that you do it. Nobody else. By the way, by what you just said, you lengthened your stay here on Earth one more lifetime. My condolences.
Do you frequent the Bohemian Grove and fully participate in cremation of care sacrifice to Moloch, having sex with male homosexual prostitutes, orgies, etc.
Those and other similar places are for the politicians and media people. They are obligated. Sometimes a bloodline will be present but will not participate in those acts which are not the rituals we do.
Do you consider the prevalence and success of organized crime families and syndicates as a massive failure of your collective will?
They are there for a reason. They aren't as successful as they look, though. They are broken.
Why do you continue to attempt to control mass consciousness by spreading fear through every outlet available to you? Why not set the knowledge free as was intended long ago? The written word is spreading the wings of truth. The sword has been given to the sheep, and the day of reckoning is soon at hand. I believe in no law of divinity or hierarchy. We are all equal unto the eyes of the Creator, and for that must you answer in your time. The meek are inheriting the earth presently. I pray for you.
If that was the aim, it would be done in an instant. You do not understand what this world we live in really is.
This time I have no question. I do, however, have a statement. The time of reckoning is at hand.
It is not.
It goes. The best slave is one who thinks he is free. Is it ultimately all a matter of genes? Do you understand self-cloning? Do you agree that the planet is replete with false allies and false enemies?
That's not how it originally goes, about the slave. If you listen carefully you will see. Last question has a yes as an answer. There are also no real allies or enemies.
If you are indeed who and what you say you are, then you will know that you and your ilk are in big trouble. Your time is short, and those you belong to who are in our space quadrant as we speak already know it. I imagine they are a tad busy right at this moment. But of course you must keep up appearances even when you know you fight a losing battle. Personally, I will be very happy to see the day, and it is coming sooner than you think.
There is no end of time. A long time ago, the people did almost manage to take over, and then bad things happened on Earth to those people. What are you seeing now? Are you really living on the planet you think you are?
The quote higher beings who govern this realm, do you serve them? By what names do you call them? Have you ever seen them? Where do they reside?
They penetrate everything and they are benevolent.
What really hit the Pentagon on 9/11?
Does it matter what hit it?
Too much question dodging.
I did not sign a contract which says I have to answer everything. Some questions do not need an answer and others do not mean a thing even though you think it does. How strange that some of you who talk about love, might, and peace are the ones who 2 sentences later cuss and talk about murdering others, smirking about it being soon. Are you sure you are on the quote good side? For the ones who are a bit smarter than that, ask away. I will answer the way I choose to. Before you ask the question, force yourself to think outside the box that was created for you by others. Ask a real question that you thought about, formulate it in detail. For the others, if you could leave out cussing, hate, bigotry, and prejudice which is based on your guru's amazing wisdom, it would show you are a bit more evolved from the peasant stage. I will not answer all questions, sometimes because it is obvious if you think about it or parts of it have been answered, other times because I do not have the obligation to do so.
So is Bill Gates more elite than you? How about Queen Elizabeth? Are you one Arab? Can't you control the oil instead of the Arabs?
The ones you know the names of are not true bloodlines like you have been taught by theorists. They are not the ones who write the symphony, neither conduct it. The ones you mentioned and other known names merely play the violin or cello when they are told to, the way they are told to. It does not matter what race I am, has no effect on anything. Oil is already under full control like all natural resources.
Why does visualization work?
It does not work for everybody. You have to reach a certain stage in your development. This means living by strict rules, applying them to everything you do in life, in detail. Most humans do not have the discipline nor temperance to achieve that stage. Some here talk like they can, but I know even without knowing anything about their lives that they are further away from it than they think. Quote, visualization works because it is an essential way of the creational process in this material universe. The universe is a living entity who uses its mind to create, and the beings created from that may have that same power too within their boundaries.
Now the question is, who is using David Icke? And better question, why?
David Icke has a core of truth he is trying to pass. What he does not realize is that this actually works against him. The reptilian part was fed him by the ones who worked for the bloodlines. In a period of 7-8 months he was bombarded with, quote, victims who witnessed shape-shifting, satanic rituals, etc. in such a way he could not refuse to not believe it. Sometimes the, quote, witnesses were led to him a few times a day, depending on his location. Others, like David Icke, and there are more than you think, have been fed similar stories. Really, I am not reptilian. The answer why does not have to be answered.
Are you part of the Divine Brotherhood? Are you me? Are you he who manipulates the Matrix? Inquiring minds want to know, 'cause I'm thoroughly confused. You say we despise you, but I could not imagine despising any being from the divine realms. Then you act like you're part of the, quote, elite bloodline on Earth, but what would bloodlines have to do with the spiritual world? Again, I'm confused. Could you clarify? Just what is the elite of whom you say we despise, and yet who apparently has all the inside scoop?
You are confused, for you have accepted the other versions of the, quote, truth, and you think you have a sight of the big picture, but what I said dismisses huge parts of it. There is a misconception about bloodlines. Obviously, the questions that are being asked here prove that. But there is a reason for that, and it serves an important purpose. We manipulate this world only as far as we are allowed to by the divine law. We provide you with tools, and then it is up to you to determine how you use it. Tools can be used in a malicious way, but no one is forcing you to use them that way. You are choosing yourself. So despising the ones who provide you with the tool that you voluntarily chose to, quote, sin with, is about your trying to camouflage your tracks. You get what you deserve. That is how this universe works. We do our duty, so do yours.
There is a very old saying, unrecorded in open history, quote, the devil doesn't know he's the devil. He thinks he's God.
Wrong. It actually states that humans who worship the, quote, bad, think they worship the, quote, good.
Earlier you said, quote, you do not understand what this world we live in really is. Care to elaborate on this statement?
Only if you formulate the question and understand that certain questions need to be answered by yourself only, not others, otherwise they have no purpose.
I'm not coming back to your planet next time. Smoke on that.
What gave you the impression that when that time comes, you have a say in that?
What is the reason that your people came to this planet?
Almost the same reason you came.